We're now going to hear, it's actually a video that was recorded yesterday with Nicole Mowbray from Australia. She's from the Lesbian Action Group, and she's going to tell us about the Lesbian Action Group case and their funding appeal.
Hi, I'm Nicole from the Lesbian Action Group here in Victoria in Australia. We formed a few years ago to test the laws here in Australia because the lesbian community has been underground for at least the last 20 years in order to have lesbian-only space. So any event that is organised by the corporate LGBTIQ+ is compulsory mixed-sex space. And while that has its place, it certainly does, lesbians like to have lesbian-only space. And so we came together in order to test the laws here in Australia. So we had to apply to the Australian Human Rights Commission to get a single-sex exemption. And that was rejected. We were told we were transphobic and that we couldn't exclude trans lesbians, and therefore we couldn't get our single-sex exemption. So we took that decision to the Administrative Appeals Tribunal. We had a barrister who offered us his services and his expertise in this area, and we have a fabulous legal team behind us. I have great confidence in them. So we had a 2-day hearing last September in Melbourne at the Administrative Appeals Tribunal, and then we had to wait. We had to wait till January this year to get the result, the outcome. And the outcome wasn't in our favour. We were told that we could legally discriminate against heterosexual males, against heterosexual females, against bisexual people. We could legally discriminate against gay men. That's the whole purpose of having an exemption, is to be able to legally discriminate. But we weren't. We were told that we weren't allowed to legally discriminate against trans people because they were oppressed and we would be further oppressing them. So we are now at the situation where we still can't have public lesbian-only events here in Australia, and it's really important to us to be public so that other lesbians can find us. We've made contact with young lesbians who are terribly isolated because they cannot find the lesbian community because we've been underground. We still organise things, we still have events, but it's within a closed circle in order to keep out anyone who's not a lesbian. So they're having trouble finding us, and we totally understand that they're isolated. They're telling us they're very isolated. They're telling us that the mixed-sex events under the LGBTIQ+ is problematic in that there are males hitting on them. They don't want to be hit on by males. They don't want to be picked up by males. They're being sexually harassed. Some of them are getting into compromising positions with trans women and finding out that they're actually male, and some have been raped, some have had death threats. It's horrific. It's really hard to be a young lesbian in Australia today because of this. So this is why us older lesbians are trying to make some change so that there's somewhere for the younger lesbians to go and for us to go as well. So our next step, having been told that we can't get the exemption, is we're now going to the federal court. So our legal team are really very enthusiastic to continue to support us. We have great faith in them. They're a really, really good, strong legal team. We really should have won at the Administrative Appeals Tribunal. We suspect that the judge was gotten to. But we're hoping that at the federal court we'll have some more, might have some more luck. It's really hard to tell. And given that the Sex Discrimination Act here in Australia has been changed to the point where sex-based rights really are no longer valid. They're no longer the Sex Discrimination Act is not worth the piece of paper it's written on in terms of protecting sex-based rights, because the government took out the definitions of man and woman and they added gender identity. And so the court, we think, is upholding the Sex Discrimination Act in its current form, and gender identity is trumping sex-based rights. So that's where we're at the moment. It's a difficult situation. The Australian government are basically discriminating against us because the Australian Human Rights Commission is a part of the government. The Australian government is signed up to numerous United Nations mandates in terms of women's and lesbian rights, and they're going against those mandates by not enabling us to be able to assemble and associate with our own cultural group. We are being denied that right, which is written in international law. Yeah, we'll see how we go at the federal court. We've got a hearing in March, which will, I think, decide when the actual hearing will be. We're hoping for August or September this year, but we don't have a date as yet. So we've been crowdfunding to pay the fees to go to court, to go to the federal court, and we've been blown away by the support we've got out there, not just within Australia, but around the world. The support's just been phenomenal. There are lesbians, I suspect, around the world watching what's going on here, because this, as we know, is an issue for lesbians around the world. It's not just happening here in Australia. I know that the general lesbian community around the world has been underground for a long time now. When we initially put in for the exemption with the Human Rights Commission, that was opened to public for people to put in, submissions as to what they thought, and overwhelmingly we got support. And even then, the Human Rights Commission wouldn't grant us the exemption. It was overwhelming support that we got publicly to have this exemption granted. And just, generally on social media, most people can't believe that this is happening, So the events that are happening where the men who say they're lesbians are going to are LGBTIQ plus events put on by those organisations, right? And we don't go to them because we're not interested in those mixed sex events. So it's not us that are putting on those mixed sex events. It's what I call them, the corporate LGBTIQ plus, because it's been taken over, by the corporates. And so we've actually set up a club here, a lesbian club. We can legally have a single-sex club, and we've done that, and that has been really successful. We have several hundred members now around Australia, and we're holding events where we're able to hold events for club members, and it's proving to be really popular.
So that's like a private club.
It's a private club.
You're allowed to have that.
We're allowed to do that, yeah. But we're wanting public events so that we can capture those younger lesbians and those newly emerging lesbians who can't find us.